Hello everybody, welcome to Bad Big Games. I'm your host Joseph. Today we're going to be talking about Rare, Microsoft, Sea of Thieves, loot boxes, microtransactions, and the positive effects it'll have on your wallet. With that said, Future Joe, roll the intro. So it seems like microtransactions and loot boxes in 2018 especially are like a curse word in the gaming industry, right? Don't talk about it, try to dance around the issue. We've seen big developers, big publishers try to tackle microtransactions and fail. They try to appease their audience, but then kind of fall short. We saw it with Destiny 2 and Bungie and Activison. We saw the huge firestorm with EA and Battlefront 2 and DICE, man. People got angry at these games and there were these huge fallouts because of them. But it's so refreshing to see that in 2018, a big name, and I mean a prominent name in the gaming industry, isn't just tackling this issue, but they're coming out in full force. Microsoft and Rare have announced that at the start of Sea of Thieves, when it launches March 20th, will have no microtransactions in their game. They want to assure first that the game's running well, that they're not hitting any rough patches, that any rough patches they might face, that they get it all ironed out and ready to go. They make sure that the customers, people that are buying this game or using Game Pass for it, are having a good experience first. And I think that's something really awesome to see. They're trying to make sure that when the seas are calm, pun intended, that once the seas are calm, that yeah, they'll introduce microtransactions. But not the way we see most games do it, right? Like Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty, we'll see it probably in Battlefront, Destiny 2, hell, even single-player games like Shadow of Mordor. We have these loot boxes that are all based around RNG. It's luck. If you want that Tracer skin, well, yeah, you could save up and work for it over time with free in-game currency, or you could try your luck at it. And that sucks for the most part. The only game that I could think of that lets you just purchase the items you want is Warframe. And that is exactly what Sea of Thieves and Rare are going to do. Instead of locking things behind a loot box, instead of making things that might break the game, for example, like giving you cannons that do more damage or guns that do more damage than anybody else, or buying a ship that takes less damage than anything else, instead, they're going to be things that are just customizable, that are just consumable, that don't affect gameplay. So maybe you want a little iguana called Henry on your shoulder, and he's green, and maybe he changes colors in the environment. Well, guess what? You get little Henry the iguana. And guess what? Little Henry the iguana, he's not going to help you in your firefight. He's not going to help you drive your ship. Is it drive or sail your ship? He's not going to do that. He's just there to make you look cute, to make you look a little cooler than you already did. If you want a little bird on your shoulder named Betty the bird is not going to help you in battle. He's just going to make you look better than you previously otherwise would. And what's really awesome is if you want Betty the bird or Henry the iguana, guess what? You don't have to roll for some box in order to maybe get them. Instead, you'll be able to purchase them outright, which is something not a lot of games do. Again, the only one that comes to mind is Warframe. You know, I love Overwatch, and I feel like they do loot boxes pretty well, maybe the best out of most, but they did introduce this concept that makes Blizzard a lot of money. For example, let's just say you want that Tracer skin so bad, that holiday Tracer skin. You want to make her look like an elf. Well, guess what? You could get it if you roll on it and if you're lucky enough. You can't just buy that Tracer skin for $5. No. That's not the plan. What Blizzard wants you to do is spend 20, maybe 25 on a whole bunch of boxes and then just end up getting Torbjorn or fucking Zarya skins, because those are the two characters you play the fucking least. I never play Zarya. Stop giving me Zarya skins. Instead, that's what Blizzard wants, because it's all chance. It's all RNG. Randomly number generator. There you go. Random number generator. Words and stuff. That's what it's all about. It's about maybe praying to RNGesus and you're lucky and all you had to do is spend $5, but sometimes you may have to spend 50. And that's what Blizzard and other games like Rainbow Six want you to do. That's what games like Destiny want you to do. And to see that someone's coming out and saying, no, there will be no loot boxes. And guess what? The loot boxes aren't going to come out before the first 3 months of the game's release. That's awesome. That just shows that publishers and developers are listening. Remember when I said this in November at the end of my EA rant, that publishers are going to look at this, that developers are going to look at what happened. It's not just something that affects consumers, it's going to affect gamers worldwide. I remember when people were calling us babies for standing up for things that we didn't want to implement the overall gameplay or give advantages to other people who can afford it. Those people who stood up, guess what? Pat yourself on the back, because this is because of you. Microsoft saw what happened to EA, did not want to replicate it, and so they changed course. Talking about Sea of Thieves. That's a pun. Sorry about that. But seriously, they saw it and they were like, okay, we cannot do that. They saw Destiny, they were like, okay, we need to handle this better. And by them going out and, again, a little bit more than a month before the game releases, tells you, hey, there's not going to be loot boxes at launch. There will be no loot boxes in general. You pay for what you want. That is amazing. That is amazing. You see that Microsoft has learned from others' mistakes and not theirs, you know? So when I see when Microsoft does this, it's awesome. You know, Microsoft, believe it or not, to some of you people, is a big deal. They are a big publisher. They do have a lot of pull because that means, theoretically, games like Crackdown, games like Halo, games like Gears of War, Forza, when they come out, they'll know what to do. They'll see the Sea of Thieves route, and they'll probably follow suit. I think Microsoft learned with things like Forza and Halo Wars and Halo 5 that, you know what, these microtransactions, the way we're doing it isn't right. And I feel like they're learning from their mistakes and the mistakes of others and doing something really awesome. I feel like this helps Sea of Thieves in the long run, not for anybody to purchase it, right? If you're not interested in this game, not, you know, the whole not having microtransactions at launch isn't going to, you know, get you over that fence. But if you were concerned, if you were at least curious about how microtransactions would affect the game, well, now that you practically have nothing to worry about, that's really awesome. But the last thing I do want to say is we got to make sure that we hold Microsoft accountable for if and when things don't go the way they said. We still need to hold companies accountable and praise them when they do the right thing, but hold them accountable when they do the wrong thing. And I gotta praise Microsoft for learning. I understand Microsoft is a big, easy target, especially in this generation, but we have to give credit where credit is due because they're creating a sphere of influence of how microtransactions are done. And if there are more examples of things like Sea of Thieves, guess what? More companies, more developers are going to go this way rather than the loot boxes. And maybe games that prior had loot boxes, maybe they change for the better. One can only hope. I know that's a real optimistic, you know, look on it, but I'd rather be optimistic than pessimistic. I'd rather see the glass half full. And I know that though I hate microtransactions and though I have bought a few loot boxes myself, the most important thing is that people feel like they're treated right. And when people feel like they're treated right, they spend more. That's why I paid money in Fortnite, because I enjoyed my time. The game's free. And so I was like, hey, Epic, here's $1. You earned my $1. Here you go. Thank you for giving me fun. That's why I spend money in Overwatch, though the system isn't perfect, because I enjoy my time, because they give me free content every few months or every other month. They give us a huge seasonal event. So yeah, I'll be like, here's $5, oh man, I'll put it in your hand. And so I don't mind that much. But when companies do it wrong, like Destiny, where it seems like more and more content are locked behind a paywall, or when you see EA try to make it so that progression is tied to loot boxes, we have to speak out. We have that obligation of not just voting with our wallet, but yet again, I know broken record, but actually expressing why we're voting with our wallet. either side. So with that said, and with that all out of the way, that's how I feel about Sea of Thieves. I've been on board. I've enjoyed my time with the alpha and with the first beta. I can't wait to play with you guys when the beta comes out, probably in a few weeks, and when the game comes out. I'm so on board with this. I'm so excited for this game. And so with that said, and with that all out of the way, everybody, I want to know this. A, if you own an Xbox, are you excited for Sea of Thieves? Do you need people to play it with? Why or why not? Let me know in the comment section down below. Here at Bad Bit Games, we're having a giveaway for either Celeste or Faye. They're coming out of my own pocket, and it's just a great way of thanking you guys for following, commenting, and getting engaged. All you got to do is like, share, subscribe, but most of all, comment, and so we can have that conversation, because that's what Bad Bit Games is all about. Whether it's Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, EA, whatever the case may be, I want to talk about what I'm passionate. That's video games. But most of all, not just talk, but have a conversation with you. With that said, also Patreon. I gotta thank the guys and gang over there at patreon.com/make us better. You guys and gals truly do make me better day in, day out. We're gonna have the first inaugural episode of the Bad Bit Show, because of you guys. Next week, I'll be ordering a better light so that this possessed light will not be blinding or flickering. That's all because of you guys. So thank you so much for truly making me better and making me better at my job. So with that said, and all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you and have a great one. Boom!